Back up now, sir. You're crossing the line.
You have no right to talk to me like that.
Keep arguing and you're going in cuffs.
This is illegal. And
Last
you know
chance.
it.
Move away from the vehicle.
I'm not going anywhere.
Dad.
This is my son.
Fine, you asked for this.
Touch me.
Hey, stop it!
Don't you touch me.
A police officer stands on a quiet street. His body cam is rolling. He's talking to a woman in casual clothes. She's calm. Too calm for what's about to happen. "Ma'am, step back. This is police business," he says. "That's my son. I'm not going anywhere," she replies. "Right. Well, your boy's getting arrested for obstruction. He only asked for his rights. That's not a crime." The officer laughs. "Oh, so you're a lawyer now, lady?" "I've studied law, yes." "Good for you. But I enforce the law here." She stays calm. "Officer Reed, you should really reconsider this." He gets closer. "Don't lecture me, ma'am. Move back or you'll be arrested too." Officer Marcus Reed had no idea who he just dismissed. In the next 72 hours, his entire career would fall apart. The woman he called lady was Judge Sarah Halloway. She had served 18 years on the federal court bench. Before that, 12 years as a federal prosecutor. Judge Halloway had ruled on 9 police misconduct cases in the past 2 years alone. She also taught constitutional law at Georgetown University. She trained new judges across the country. And both dashcam and bodycam footage captured his every word. Before I continue, let me ask you this. Have you ever been dismissed by someone in power who had no idea who they were talking to? Drop your story in the comments. But Officer Reed had no idea who he was threatening. Judge Sarah Elizabeth Halloway wasn't just any concerned parent. She was a federal judge. Not just any judge. A federal circuit court judge on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. She graduated from Georgetown Law School in 1993, top of her class. After graduation, she did something most lawyers only dream of. She clerked for Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. For 1 year, she worked directly with one of the most powerful judges in America. Then she became a federal prosecutor. For 12 years, from 1996 to 2008, she prosecuted major cases. In 2008, she was appointed to the federal bench. She was 52 years old now. She had spent 18 years as a judge. Her specialty? Civil rights cases. Constitutional law. Police misconduct. In the past 2 years alone, she had presided over 9 cases involving police. She had written 47 judicial opinions on civil rights. She taught a class at Georgetown called Constitutional Limits on Law Enforcement. She trained other federal judges on Fourth Amendment issues. She had published 3 books on civil liberties and police reform. Judge Halloway was a mother of 2 sons. David was 19 studying pre-law. Michael was 16. She lived in suburban Philadelphia. People who knew her said she was fair but firm. She had zero tolerance for rights violations. On this March evening in 2024, she was just trying to protect her son. Now here's what you need to know about Officer Reed. Marcus Allen Reed was 34 years old. He had been with the Whitemarsh Township Police Department for 11 years. He worked in the traffic unit. He was a patrol supervisor. But Reed had a reputation, and it wasn't good. In 11 years, he had 7 formal complaints. That's a lot. And every single complaint had the same pattern. Someone questioned his authority. And he escalated. Here's what happened before this night. In 2019, a woman was getting a parking ticket. She pulled out her phone to record him. Reed told her to put it away. She refused. He threatened to arrest her. She filed a complaint. Nothing happened to Reed. In 2021, a parent was picking up their kid from high school. Reed accused them of parking wrong. The parent questioned him. Reed got aggressive. He said the parent was interfering. The parent filed a complaint. Reed got a warning. That's it. In 2023, Reed pulled over a driver. The passenger asked a question. Reed told the passenger to shut up. The passenger kept talking. Reed threatened to arrest them for talking back. Another complaint. Dismissed. 7 complaints in 11 years. All involved people who knew their rights. All involved Reed escalating. 0 complaints led to suspension. The department defended him every time. People in the neighborhood had a nickname for him. They called him Officer Escalation. 3 lawyers in the town had filed complaints about him. The department had privately talked to him twice about his communication style. But nothing changed. Let me know in the comments if you've ever dealt with someone like this. Type escalation if this sounds familiar. It was Friday, March 15, 2024. The time was 7:43 p.m. The location was a quiet street in Whitemarsh Township, Pennsylvania. It was a suburban neighborhood near Lafayette Hill. Early spring evening. The temperature was dropping. Families were coming home from work. Street traffic was normal. Neighbors were on their porches. Some were walking dogs. At 7:43 p.m., Officer Reed pulled over a 2019 Honda Civic. The driver was David Halloway. He was 19 years old. Judge Halloway's son. Reed said David didn't use his turn signal. David immediately called his mother. This was family protocol. Whenever stopped by police, call a parent. Reed walked up to the car. He asked for license and registration. David handed them over. He was polite. Then David asked a simple question. Why did you stop me, officer? Reed's tone changed. I'll ask the questions here. David stayed calm. I'd like to record this, is that okay? Reed got firm. Put the phone down. Now. David knew his rights. I have the right to record, officer. Reed's voice got harder. Step out of the vehicle. 4 minutes later, at 7:47 p.m., Judge Halloway arrived. She parked across the street. She walked calmly toward the scene. The bodycam captured her approach. She was wearing casual clothes. It was Friday evening. She had been home. She wasn't carrying any visible ID. Reed noticed her walking up. Ma'am, this is a traffic stop. Move along. Judge Halloway stayed calm. That's my son. Reed didn't care. I don't care who you are. Step back. That's when everything changed. If stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe. We expose these moments every week. Reed turned to face her. Ma'am, I'm ordering you to leave this scene. Judge Halloway stood still. I'm standing on a public sidewalk. I'm observing. This is police business. You're interfering. I'm 15 feet away. I'm not interfering with anything. Reed pointed at David. Your son is being detained for obstruction. What did he obstruct? He asked a question. He refused to put his phone down when ordered. Judge Halloway stayed calm. He has a constitutional right to record you. Reed laughed. Not a friendly laugh. A dismissive one. Oh, so you're a lawyer now, lady? She didn't flinch. I've studied law, yes. Good for you. But I enforce the law here. Judge Halloway looked directly at him. Then you should know Glick versus Cuniff. First Circuit. 2011. Reed waved his hand. I don't need case law from you, ma'am. Officer Reed, you're on very thin ice right now. He stepped closer. Are you threatening me? I'm advising you. There's a difference. Reed's voice got louder. I don't take advice from civilians. Especially not. She interrupted. Especially not what, officer? Especially not middle-aged women who think they know my job. Judge Halloway's face didn't change. I see. So that's how this is going. Reed turned toward David's car. His hand went to his handcuffs. Judge Halloway took one step closer. Still 12 feet away, Reed spun around fast. That's it. You're under arrest for obstruction. He moved toward her. The bodycam showed everything. Judge Halloway stood perfectly still. Her hands stayed visible. Across the street, a neighbor named Martha Chen started recording on her phone. She was 2 years old. She saw the whole thing from her porch. Another neighbor, James Wilson, walked over. He was 45. He called out, Officer, she's just standing there. Reed pointed at him. Back up or you're next. A teenager walking her dog stopped. Her name was Ashley Rodriguez. She was 17. She pulled out her phone. She started recording too. 3 cameras, 3 witnesses, all capturing the same moment. Reed turned back to Judge Halloway. Turn around. Hands behind your back. She stayed calm. Her voice was steady. Officer Reed, I'm going to identify myself now. I'm Judge Sarah Halloway, 3rd Circuit Court of Appeals. Reed laughed again. Sure you are. And I'm the governor. I'm reaching for my credentials. They're in my jacket pocket. She moved slowly. She pulled out a black leather wallet. She opened it. Inside was a federal judge badge and ID card. She held it at eye level. Steady, clear. Reed squinted. He stepped closer. He took the wallet. He looked at it under the streetlight. The bodycam captured his face. His expression changed. This could be fake, he said. His voice was quieter now. Type credentials in the comments if you can't believe what you just heard. Judge Halloway's voice stayed calm. It's not fake. You can call the courthouse. You can call your supervisor. But what you cannot do is arrest me for exercising my constitutional rights. Reed's face changed. He looked confused. Then defensive. You were interfering with... I was observing from a public space. And you know it. From the car, David called out. Mom, should I call Dad? Not yet, sweetheart. Reed turned to David. He's still being detained. Judge Halloway took a breath. For what? You pulled him over for a turn signal. You've had his license for 6 minutes. Either give him a ticket or let him go. Reed opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Martha Chen walked closer. She was still recording. Officer, I've been watching this whole thing. She's been completely calm. You threatened her. Reed pointed at Martha. Ma'am, put that phone away. Martha didn't move. No. I'm recording from public property. James Wilson stepped up too. I've lived here 12 years. This is Judge Halloway. Everyone knows her. Reed's voice got louder. I don't care if she's the Queen of England. Wilson shook his head. You should care. She's a federal judge. The teenager, Ashley Rodriguez, kept recording. She didn't say anything. But later she would say, I knew who she was. My dad works with her. Now there were 5 pieces of evidence. Reed's body cam. Martha's phone. Ashley's phone. David's dash cam in the car. And a Ring doorbell camera from the house across the street. All recording the same scene. At 7:54 p.m., Martha Chen made a call. She called the Whitemarsh Police Department directly. Your officer just threatened to arrest Judge Halloway. The dispatcher paused. I'm sorry, who? Federal Judge Sarah Halloway. 3rd Circuit. Another pause. Longer this time. I'm sending a supervisor immediately. 8 minutes later, at 8:02 p.m., a police car pulled up. Sergeant Thomas Malloy got out. He was a 20-year veteran. He saw Judge Halloway. His eyes went wide. He recognized her immediately. Your Honor. He turned to Reed. Officer Reed, what's going on here? Reed tried to explain. His words came fast. She was interfering with a traffic stop. Malloy stared at him. She was what? She didn't identify herself right away. Judge Halloway spoke calmly. He knew 90 seconds ago. He called my credentials fake. Malloy looked at Reed. You did what? The body cam footage proved it. Reed had looked at her credentials. He had said they could be fake. It was all on camera. Reed started to panic. I didn't know who she was. You knew after she showed you her badge, Malloy said. His voice was cold. She should have identified herself earlier. She was standing on a sidewalk. She didn't have to identify herself at all. Reed tried again. I was just doing my job. Malloy shook his head. Slow. Disappointed. By now, Officer Reed was starting to understand how badly he'd messed up. But it was too late. Everything was on camera. 5 different cameras. And the woman he'd dismissed as just another middle-aged lady was about to become the reason his career ended. 10 minutes later, Sergeant Malloy made a decision that would change everything. But wait, there's more to this story. What happened next shocked everyone. Sergeant Malloy didn't waste time. He looked at Reed. His face was hard. Officer Reed, return to your vehicle. Now. Reed tried to argue. Sarge, I can explain. Vehicle. Now. Reed walked back to his patrol car. Slow steps. His head down. Malloy turned to Judge Halloway. Your Honor, I apologize for this situation. Judge Halloway's voice was firm. Don't apologize to me. Release my son. Malloy nodded. He walked over to David's car. Did you use your turn signal? David nodded fast. Yes, sir, I did. Malloy asked to see the dashcam footage. David played it back. The footage was clear. David had used his turn signal. The stop was bad from the start. Malloy turned off the dashcam. He looked at David. You're free to go. No ticket. David looked relieved. What about the recording thing? He said, I couldn't record. Malloy sighed. You have every right to record. We'll address that. Then Malloy walked back to Reed's patrol car. He opened the door. Give me your body cam. Reed's eyes went wide. You're suspending me? I'm sending you home pending investigation. This is because she's a judge? Malloy's jaw tightened. This is because you threatened to arrest someone for exercising constitutional rights. And yes, the fact that she's a federal judge makes it much worse. Reed tried one more time. I was just doing my job. Your job isn't to arrest people who ask questions. Malloy took the body cam. He told Reed to go home. Reed sat in his car for a moment. Then he looked at Judge Halloway. He rolled down his window. Your Honor, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. Judge Halloway cut him off. Don't apologize to me now, officer. You had multiple chances to de-escalate. Reed drove away. His taillights disappeared down the street. Malloy started collecting evidence. Martha Chen gave her statement. She handed over her phone footage. James Wilson gave his statement too. Ashley Rodriguez came forward. She was quiet but clear. I recorded the whole thing. She sent the footage to Malloy's email. 2 more neighbors came forward. They had Ring doorbell cameras. Both cameras captured the scene. Malloy collected everything, 5 video sources, 3 written statements. David's dashcam footage. Reed's bodycam. Judge Halloway stood with David. He was shaken. She put her arm around him. You're okay, sweetheart? David looked at her. Does this happen to everyone? She paused. Then she told him the truth. It happens more than it should. Malloy walked back over. Your Honor, we'll conduct a full investigation. I promise you, this will be taken seriously. Judge Halloway looked at him. I hope so, Sergeant. Because if this can happen to me, imagine what happens to people without my advantages. Malloy nodded. He knew she was right. By 8:30 p.m., the scene was clear. David drove home. Judge Halloway followed. Malloy stayed to write his report. He knew this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. If you believe officers should be held accountable, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep exposing stories like this. Let me know in the comments if you think Reed should have been arrested on the spot. But the consequences were just beginning. Because Martha Chen had already uploaded her video to Facebook. It was 8:47 p.m. on Friday. Martha wrote a simple caption. Whitemarsh cop tries to arrest federal judge for standing on sidewalk. The video was 4 minutes and 22 seconds long. By 9:30 p.m., the video had 1,200 shares. It had 847 comments. People were angry. The video spread fast. It was shared in local community groups, Pennsylvania legal watch groups, police accountability pages. At 10:15 p.m., Ashley Rodriguez uploaded her video to TikTok. Her username was Ashley Sees. She added hashtags. Police misconduct. Federal judge. Know your rights. In the first hour, the video got 47,000 views. By 11:45 p.m. a local reporter saw the video. Her name was Jane Morrison. She worked for 6 ABC News. She reached out to Martha and Ashley. Both sent her the full videos. Morrison called the Whitemarsh Police Department. She asked for a comment. By 1:30 a.m. on Saturday, the TikTok video had 340,000 views. Then bigger accounts found it. An account called Civil Rights Lawyer shared it. That account had 780,000 followers. Another account, Badge Abuse, shared it too. They had 1.2 million followers. By 6 a.m., the Philadelphia Inquirer picked up the story. The headline was simple: Federal judge nearly arrested during son's traffic stop. The article included Reed's complaint history. All 7 prior incidents. By 8 a.m., Saturday Morning News was covering it. 6 ABC, NBC 10, CBS 3, all 3 stations led with the story. They wanted to interview Judge Halloway. She declined. For now. By midnight on Saturday, the numbers were massive. Facebook had 89,000 shares. TikTok had 2.7 million views across multiple reposts. On Twitter, 2 hashtags were trending. Judge Halloway. Officer Reed. On Reddit, the video was the top post in a forum called Bad Cop No Donut. It had 47,000 upvotes. People were commenting everywhere. One lawyer wrote, "This officer tried to arrest a federal judge for doing exactly what I teach citizens to do. Unbelievable." A retired cop wrote, 30 years in law enforcement. This is textbook ego escalation. He should lose his badge. Someone from Philadelphia wrote, Judge Halloway presided over my uncle's civil rights case. She's the last person you want to mess with. This story was shared millions of times. If you think others should see this, share it right now. Comment below if you think Officer Reed deserves what's coming. Wait until you hear what happened next. The amount Officer Reed lost? I'll tell you in a second. On Monday, March 18th, Judge Halloway made a decision. She wasn't going to sue for money. She didn't need it. Instead, she filed official complaints. She filed with the Whitemarsh Police Department Internal Affairs. She filed with the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office. She filed with the Pennsylvania State Police for an oversight review. Her goal wasn't revenge. It was accountability. Internal Affairs opened an investigation immediately. The lead investigator was Captain Patricia Valdez. She had 20 years of experience. She reviewed everything: 5 video sources, 7 witness statements, Reed's complaint history, all 7 prior incidents, Reed's training records, department policy on constitutional rights. Then they found something. A pattern. They pulled Reed's full history. In the past 3 years, Reed had made 47 traffic stops, 23 of them involved obstruction claims. 18 of those involved citizens who questioned him, but only 4 stops resulted in actual tickets. The pattern was clear. Reed used obstruction charges to punish people who knew their rights. The district attorney reviewed the case. They decided not to file criminal charges against Reed. Their reason? While unprofessional, his actions don't meet the threshold for criminal charges. But they sent the case to the Pennsylvania Attorney General. The AG's office said, under evaluation. Then came the employment decision. On April 2, 2024, 18 days after the incident, the Whitemarsh police chief held a press conference. The announcement was simple. Officer Reed's employment has been terminated. The reasons were listed: violation of department policy on constitutional rights, conduct unbecoming an officer, pattern of escalation based on 7 prior complaints, loss of public trust. Reed tried to appeal through the police union. The union filed a grievance. Termination too harsh, they said. There was an arbitration hearing in May 2024. The arbitrator made a decision. Termination upheld. The reasoning was clear. Officer's pattern shows he's unsuited for law enforcement. Now here's what Reed lost. His salary was $67,000 a year. Gone. His pension benefits? He would have been fully vested in 4 more years. Gone. His health insurance? Gone. His legal fees for the appeal? $18,000. Out of his own pocket. Reed applied to 6 other police departments. All 6 rejected him. The Pennsylvania Police Chiefs Association added him to an informal do not hire list. His career in law enforcement was over. He was 34 years old. As of October 2024, Reed works as a security guard. He makes $16 an hour. His wife filed for separation in June 2024. She said the stress was too much. If you search Marcus Reed Police online, the first 100 results are about this incident. He's been asked to leave public places twice because people recognized him. But the department made changes too. They updated their policies. Now there's mandatory de-escalation training every year. Body camera footage is reviewed randomly. 10% of all stops are checked. The right to record policy was clarified. It's now posted in the police station. The complaint process was made easier. 3 other officers quietly resigned. All 3 had prior complaint histories. Comment: accountability if you think this was justice. Let me know if you think Reed got what he deserved. On April 10, 2024, Judge Halloway held a press conference. It was at the Montgomery County Courthouse. She stood at a podium. Her voice was calm but firm. My son called me that night terrified, she said. Not of the ticket, of the officer. She paused. Then she continued. I'm a federal judge. I have resources. I have credibility. I have institutional power. And I was still threatened with arrest for standing on a sidewalk. If this can happen to me, imagine what happens to people without my advantages. She talked about her 30 years in the justice system. I've seen what happens when police officers believe they're above accountability. Officer Reed's pattern was clear. 7 complaints. And nothing happened until he met someone who couldn't be dismissed. That's not justice. That's luck. Then she spoke directly to workers. If you're a retail worker, a teacher, a service employee, you have rights. You don't deserve to be abused. You have the right to record. You have the right to ask questions. You have the right to be treated with dignity. She had a message for police too. Most officers serve honorably. But the ones who don't? They poison public trust. De-escalation isn't weakness. Respecting constitutional rights isn't optional. She said what she wanted. I want Officer Reed's termination to mean something. I want departments to look at complaint patterns. I want them to act before viral videos force their hand. I want citizens to know they can stand up without fear. She thanked the neighbors. Thank you to Martha, James, Ashley. The neighbors who didn't look away. Thank you to Sergeant Malloy for doing the right thing immediately. Her closing words stayed with everyone. My son asked me if this happens to everyone. I told him the truth. It happens more than it should. But we're going to keep fighting until it doesn't. Judge Halloway's statement exposed something bigger. This wasn't just about one traffic stop. It was about a pattern we see everywhere. Here are the facts. 50% of civil rights lawsuits against police get dismissed because of something called qualified immunity. That protects officers even when there's video evidence. Only 2% of civilian complaints result in discipline. Most get marked unfounded. 400 cases in 2023 alone involved citizens arrested for recording police. The charges usually get dropped. But the fear stays. Officers with 10 or more complaints have an 80% employment retention rate. They stay on the job. Fired officers often get hired by other departments nearby. This case was different because Judge Halloway had resources. She had legal expertise. She had credibility. She had media contacts. Most people don't. And that's the problem. So let me ask you 3 questions. Do we really believe Officer Reed was a bad apple? Or was he the natural result of a system that protects officers even when they're wrong? Do we think Judge Halloway would have gotten justice if she'd been a cashier, a teacher, or a teenager instead of a federal judge? Do we want a society where constitutional rights depend on who you are, or where they're guaranteed no matter who's wearing the badge? Because if we don't fix the complaint systems, if we don't hold pattern officers accountable, if we don't reform qualified immunity, then we're just waiting for the next Marcus Reed, the next traffic stop, the next citizen who shouldn't have to be a federal judge to be treated with dignity. Comment below. Do you believe Officer Reed's firing was justice, or should there have been criminal charges? And be honest. If Judge Halloway had been a fast food worker, would this story have ended the same way? If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep exposing these patterns. We're going to keep demanding better. We're going to keep fighting for accountability that doesn't depend on your job title, for justice that isn't reserved for the powerful, for rights that can't be dismissed by an officer's ego. This isn't just about one traffic stop or one federal judge. It's about all of us and whether we're willing to demand a system where constitutional rights aren't a privilege. They're a guarantee. See you in the next one.